the Vanguard newspaper and also read through as far as that particular one is concerned, talking about why Naira depreciated by 23% in 4 days, currency dealer analyst. Also talking about fiscal risks may actually threaten Nigerians, in the particular order. Talking about fiscal risk may threaten Nigerians' economic recovery, says analysts. Lagos analysts have advised the government to embark on fundamental reforms to show up its revenue drive in Nigeria. They said the federal government fiscal deficit widened by 52.85%, a higher fiscal expenditure which overweighed increases in retained revenue that will lead to downside risk for the economic growth of Nigeria. Besides, Kodros security researchers in their weekly economic and market updates argued that based on CBN's quarterly statistical bulletin, the federal government fiscal deficit widened by 52.85% to 12.87 trillion, 5.6% of GDP in 2003 FY. 2002 FY was 8.42 trillion or 4.22% of GDP, as a higher fiscal expenditure of 40.70% to 18.84 trillion naira overweight increases in retained revenue of 19.88% to 5.97 trillion naira. We highlight that the increase in fiscal revenue was primarily driven by revenue generated independently and exchange rate gains. The increase in aggregate expenditure was actually what the average increase in expenditure was driven by higher capital 130.69% to 4.36 trillion and recurrent 25.83% to 11.50 trillion expenditure. Nevertheless, we highlight that the 2023 FY actual deficit was 6.60% lower than the budgeted deficit of exactly 13.78 trillion naira, as aggregate expenditure was lower than the approved budget expenditure of 24.82 trillion amid a lower budgeted retained revenue of 8.63 trillion naira. Looking forward, we expect federal government retained revenue to underperform the budgeted estimate of 15.95 trillion naira in 2024, primarily due to the shortfall in oil revenue. At the same time, we think higher debt services, given the hike in interest rate, we actually push up federal government expenditure. Overall, a baseline expectation is the fiscal deficit will print 14.26 trillion naira or 5.37 of GDPs, including GOEs, in 2024. You can pick up a copy of the Independent newspaper and read further as far as that particular news story is concerned. Let's pick another story that I have for you, talking about Lagos begin medical screening for Hajj pilgrims in that particular order. As far as that is concerned, talking about the Lagos State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board. We on Tuesday began medical screening and vaccination exercise for the 2024 Hajj intended pilgrims. This was disclosed by the board secretary, Mr. Saheed Unikwede, in a statement included by the public affairs unit of the board over the weekend. Unikwede disclosed that the screening was designed to ascertain the health status of each pilgrims in fulfillment of the requirements for international travels. He emphasized that medical officials from the Lagos State University Teaching Hospital, would actually screen his pilgrims for diabetes, malaria, typhoid, hepatitis B, pregnancy test, etc., while officials from Port Health Services (PHLs) and the Federal Health Ministry of Health would vaccinate them against diseases such as polio, meningitis, and also yellow fever. The screening, which will be carried out on a local government basis, will begin at 8 a.m. daily from Tuesday, that's tomorrow, April 30th, till Thursday, May 9, 2024, at the Shamsi Adiza Thomas SAT Mosque, or Old Secretariat GRA Ikeja. According to the schedule, intending pilgrims from Agege, Omuwo, Odofin, Badagry, Muslims, local government areas would be screened and vaccinated on Tuesday, April 30th. It would be the turn of Ajeromi Ifelodun Etiosa rather, Kusofe and Oshodi Solo on Thursday, May 2, while Alimosho, Ekpe, Ifako, Ijaye and Lagos Mainland would have theirs on Monday, May 6, 2024. Intended pilgrims from Akpakpa, Surulere, Ikeja, Lagos Island local government areas shall be vaccinated on Tuesday, May 7. Shomolu, Ojo, and Ikorodu would have their turn on Wednesday, 8th of May, while all outstandings and leftovers would be attended to on Thursday, May 9, 2024, respectively. The statement added that the collection of results, consultation by medical doctors shall also go on simultaneously at the venue. You can pick up a copy of the Independent newspaper and read further. Lagos begins medical screening for Hajj pilgrims. Okay, let's pick another story this morning. My time is running 9 minutes away from 10 a.m. Nigerian time, talking about why caterer sells at excessively high price despite surfacing. Let's pick that story, talking about that. Okay. Of course, notwithstanding the fact that the cost of foods across markets in the country, which were previously increased due to the elimination of petrol subsidies and the naira floating in the middle of last year, and which raised inflation rates, not a few food sellers still sell at costly price in the guise of hardship across the country. It is not an exaggeration to note in this context that there has been a significant drop in the cost of a bag of rice. But unfortunately, market survey carried out by Daily Independent revealed that the drop is yet to reflect on the prices of most goods, particularly rice, given the drop in its price. However, following the recent rebound of the naira against the dollar, the price of a 50-kilogram bag of rice has dropped to an average of 67,000 in Lagos, Abuja, Ogun, and others, from about 90,000 in February 2024 rather. As gathered in communities close to the borders, rice was selling at a much affordable rate compared to what was obtainable rather in the cities. For instance, within the axis of Ogun border, communities like Imeko, Idiroko, Ojaodon, and others, a bag of rice was selling for around 49,000 or below. Without a doubt, the price of bag of rice in Nigeria has seen fluctuation over the years, influenced by various factors such as seasonal changes, exchange rate, and policies like the ban of rice importation. Given the previous price for a 50 kg bag of rice across different states in Nigeria, which range from 78,000 rather to 87,000. There is no denying the fact that the drop in price of a bag of rice suggests a significant change compared to historical prices. For instance, the Food and Agriculture Organization FAO in its findings stated that in the year 2000 that a bag of 50 kg of rice was sold at 2,500 naira in 2014. According to the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS), a 50 kg bag of rice cost 10,000 naira. In a similar vein, surveys by SBM Intelligence at the end of the June 2020 revealed that a 50 kg bag of rice went for an average of 26,000. In fact, the reduction in price from previous years can be attributed to several factors, including increased local production in states like KB and the government's effort to boost local agriculture. It is also expedient to note that a ban on rice importation was aimed at encouraging local production, which one seems to have engendered a more bearable price for consumers. Although it is still not as affordable as many would like to, even as it is equally important to note that these prices can vary based on locations, brand, and market condition, and they are subject to change. Given the price, not a few consumers are saying that with this significant crash in the price of a bag of rice, that caterers and restaurants ought to be selling the product in fair manners, in a way that the reflection of the current price of a bag of rice would literally be seen in what they sell to consumers. This is particularly as a bag of rice during the period between February and March, as the naira depreciated against the dollar, skyrocketed, reaching as high as 90,000 in virtually all parts of Lagos and some of Ogun State that are contiguous to Lagos, particularly communities around Mowe for access against the foregoing backdrop. Not a few people, particularly around Ogba in Ikeja, Lagos, are wondering why caterers and restaurants are still selling rice to their customers as if the product is still being sold 90,000 by wholesaler. You can pick up a copy of the Independent newspaper and read further as far as that is concerned. My time is running. Let's take this also, talking about shareholders applaud international breweries profitability. Talking about the International Breweries PLC, IBPLC, one of the leading beverage company and member of AB in Bev, of course, has reiterated its commitment to long-term investment in Nigeria. This came on the heels of the completion of the company's extraordinary general meeting (EGM) held in Lagos recently as part of its strategy to return the company to profitability. IBPLC proposed and got overwhelming support from its stakeholders in February to embark on a rights issue plan. During a second EGM, the stakeholders gave more resounding support in April with the approval of a shareholder loan. According to IBPLC, the producers of Hero Lager, Trophy Lager, Bettermalt, among other leading beverages, the generated funds from the rights issue stakeholders loan are embarked for the full and final settlement of its USD loan, which was utilized to build its state-of-the-art plant, the largest in sub-Saharan Africa in Ogun State. Due to the constraints of sourcing US dollars, others related forex volatility, challenges, surge in operational costs, and other macroeconomic impact, IBPLC has difficult paying down the loan over the years. Igwe Nnakema Echebe, chairman of the board of directors, emphasized the full support of AB in BV for the shareholders loan, stating, "We project that the repayment of the loan will inject the desired equity to recapitalize the business, thereby setting it on the path of profitability. In addition to the driving IBPLC value, which ultimately translates to better returns for our stakeholders." You can pick up a copy of the Vanguard newspaper and read further. My time is up on the show. My time is up on newspaper review. Let's go through all the headlines that I've been able to bring to you before I leave the studio of Power 365 FM. Why Naira depreciated by 23% in 4 days. Currency dealer make analysis as far as that is concerned. Shareholders applaud international breweries profitability forecast through right issues. And also, I've been able to bring to you that talking about Lagos begins medical screening for Hajj pilgrims, and also financial inclusion evaluating Nigerian rates against time. And also, shareholders are talking about why caterer sells excessively high price despite surfacing in that particular order. Okay, I need to leave the studio. Thank you so very much for being part of the Monday edition of Newspaper Review. My name is Ibidapo Miracle Oluwadamilola, ably representing my boss, Olamide. For now, I am out of the studio. Do have for yourself a fantastic and productive day ahead.
Radio. We pride ourselves on being your go-to source for authentic news and insight. Be it breaking news, thought-provoking discussions, we are your number one online radio station in Southwest Nigeria. We are dedicated to delivering top-notch content that keeps you informed, entertained,